Hello! Welcome back to It's What I Do. Sorry I've not had a video out for the last couple of weeks, but I've been a bit rough with the heavy cold. I still have it, but it's nearly gone. So hopefully we can get through a video without too much problems. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, I want to start having a look at the new cameras that I bought. I'm not going to go into massive detail on specs and such like. There's so many videos out there that you can watch to get the specs and such like. But what I'm more interested in is like the practicalities of using it as a YouTube creator. So the first camera I'm going to look at is the Sony ZV-E10 or ZV-E10 if you're American. So this camera. Quite a small compact camera. Does have interchangeable lenses, and for the price it's a lot of camera. So right, let's get set up and we'll give you a quick look at some of the footage that you get from it and some of the aspects that you can use this for. The pros and cons, if you like, of using it. Okay, so back in a second. Right, so the camera from a YouTuber's point of view, or vlogger, or whatever you want to call them. The camera, it does have a flip screen, which you can see there. So you can flip it around and see an image of what you're actually filming, which is very good. It does rotate as well. So you can tilt the screen. Can't do it because I'm holding one camera in one hand and the other in the other hand. So, but yeah, you can tilt it and angle it however you want, really. It doesn't do a 360 on the rotation, so you need to be wary of that. You can only tilt it one direction. So, let me see whether I can prop the Osmo Action up and show you it tilting. 1 second. Okay, so we've got the screen flipped out there. If you can see, we can tilt it around like so, but it will only rotate that far. You can't go 360. So you can have it round like that, or you can push it in so it's on the back like so. Or if you want to protect it, if you're going somewhere, you can turn it around like that and then close the screen on the inside, so you've got the hard plastic on the outside. So let's power it up and see where we go. Let's take the lens cap off. Turn that round so we can see it, and you can see you get an image on the screen there. It doesn't have a viewfinder on the top, like an optical viewfinder. All you've got is the screen, which is a bit of a downside. I prefer to have the viewfinder, either an optical viewfinder or an electronic viewfinder, actually on the camera itself, but this one hasn't got it, it's only got the screen. So let's take some footage and we'll have a look at that. Okay, so this is the kit lens that comes with the camera. I bought it with a kit lens. It's a 16 to 50 millimeter lens, which is enough to get you started. The habit you've got when you've got one of these screens that sits to the side is you tend to sit and look at it, so you're not looking at the camera, which isn't a good way to actually film things. It has an internal microphone. You're probably going to be picking up a little bit of wind noise on there at the moment, but with the kit you actually get a little wind muff, which fits onto the hot shoe for the flash and covers the internal microphone with the muff part. So I'll stick that on and we'll see what that sounds like. Okay, I've got the wind muff on now. Hopefully that will cut down some of the wind noise. I'll see once I process this bit of video. You'll notice from the actual framing of the shot, the actual the actual field of view, if you want, of the lens is quite a bit narrower than the action camera. And the action camera is quite a lot wider field of view. But this is on the lowest zoom, 16mm, and it's good enough. I'm holding the camera at arm's length at the moment. Would probably be better if, and I still keep looking at the screen. Oh dear. Would be better if it was slightly wider, but I think that's quite adequate at the moment. Let me just get the Osmo out, and I'll show you what the screen looks like from this side. Okay, so there we have the camera facing me, and if we look at the screen, and you see the red border around the outside of it, that indicates that we're actually filming at the moment. So it's quite a clear indication that it's recording. You also have the light on the front of the camera, which shows you're recording as well. So that's quite useful, and it's quite clear. The most distracting thing for me at the moment is I keep looking at the picture on the screen, which isn't the best way to film. So I'm trying very hard now to look at the lens. We'll see how long that lasts. The specs on this camera, I'll run through those in a minute. I'm not going to go through everything on here. It is mind-boggling the amount of things that you can do with this camera. One of the things that is a little bit odd, in the UK we use the PAL video system, PAL video system, whereas a lot of other places use the NTS system. This camera, and in fact a few other cameras, actually limit the options when you're on PAL. You've got to be on the NTS system to get the full range of features and full range of frames per second and such like, which seems a bit odd. It's very biased towards that system. Not a huge problem unless you want to output directly from the camera to your television, because most editing software will convert the NTS format into PAL anyhow, or you can output it whatever you want. But yeah, it's not a huge problem. Just seems a little bit odd why they don't invest in the PAL format. So, right, let's do a little bit more testing. This has got image stabilisation on it, but it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the action camera. I know that right from the start. With Sony, there is an additional program that you can get called Catalyst Browse, that you can run any footage through, and it will do like an image stabilisation on it, and it's supposed to be pretty good. I've not tried it myself, but it is supposed to be pretty good. This camera has an unlimited record time on it, so you can just start a record and it will just carry on creating a file for as long as you record. Most other cameras that you get do have a time limit on them. They usually have about a half an hour time limit, which, unless you're filming a documentary or something like that, some sort of long format video, 29 minutes should be ample. And 90% of the time you're going to stop and start filming anyhow. So, but this one doesn't. It has an unlimited record time, and image quality, from what I can see at the moment, looks really good. You tell me, what do you think? Okay, we'll just do a little walk test on this. We've got the Osmo Action, my normal camera, running, and we've got the ZV-E10 running as well. And I'm just walking normally. Camera's held at arm's length. I'm not sure what the lighting's like. A bit of a job to see, but we've got the sun setting just over on this side over here, so lighting might be a little bit of a problem. So I'm running this now set with the camera's set for speed priority, and at the moment I've got it set so that it's running at 125 on the shutter speed. So the reason I've done that is because I want to try and put this little bit of footage through Catalyst Browse, and from my understanding of watching other videos, you need it around sort of 120 mark. So yeah, that's just a gentle stroll, and I'm fully expecting the action camera to really sort of show this camera up, because that's not what they're made for. So we'll spin around the other way and we'll walk back the other way. There is a little bit of noise going on in the background at the minute because neighbour over the road's cutting his front grass, so we're getting a good amount of light and contrast in this because of the positioning of the sun, and I'm walking sort of 90 degrees to it, so should be getting some good contrast there. I would normally do a jog test on these, but I don't think there's a lot of point because I don't think the camera would really handle that. But that's not what they're made for. So yeah, that's the walk test, and we'll have a look, and I'll put it through Catalyst Browse and see whether it makes any difference on that. Well, we've just done the little walk test. Hopefully you'll see the comparison between that and the action camera. So what are these cameras really made for? Well, it's the versatility, really. They have a bigger sensor than the action cameras, so you're going to get better light, low light performance. And you've also got the ability to change all the lenses, which is really the strength on these, and you can get some really good lenses. Unfortunately, lenses probably cost more than the camera. This camera comes in around about the £750–799 mark with the kit lens. You can get it cheaper if you've already got a Sony camera and you've got the E-mount lenses. Then of course you don't need to buy one with the kit lens. I didn't have that, so I have bought it with the kit lens, and I want to do a real look at the camera with the kit lens. So far so good. Some of the picture qualities that you get from it are really good, which you can't do with the action cameras. I don't care what action camera they are, the picture quality when you're taking photographs is just not there. It's rubbish. Whereas you should get a really good picture from these, from any of the proper cameras, you know. So yeah, if you was just doing talking head videos, so you've got a camera set up, and you've got it set up in a little studio, little home studio or something, then this would be absolutely excellent for that. Really good price on the camera, and the image quality is really good. It's a very good image quality, and you have the flexibility that you can change all your settings, of course. And the lenses, I do have another lens, but we'll look at that on another video. I bought a Sigma 16 was it f.1.4 Excuse me. So yeah, that's another video altogether. So what else can I show you? Let's have a look at some of the photos, and you can see the quality of the photos on there. One thing I would say is if you're going to use this camera for vlogging, walking around and such like, be prepared to have extreme pressure on your arms, because after you've been holding these out for a long time, compared to the action camera, these weigh a ton. Just holding it out here for these short few minutes, my shoulder really feels it. So if you can mount this on a tripod or something, then that would be a whole lot better, and you would have perfectly still images. You wouldn't need the image stabilisation or anything. I have got a gimbal that I want to play around with and try out. That again was something else I bought with when I started purchasing the cameras. So yeah, I will be playing with that at some point. But that's the first look at the Sony ZV-E10. If you want to delve more into details of this camera, then I would recommend you look at Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis. He's a really good channel. I thoroughly enjoy watching his videos, and I can't recommend him highly enough. He does focus mainly on Sony cameras. So if you want to know more about the ZV-E10 or the new Sony A7 IV, check out his channel. I'll leave a link below to his channel. So right, I'm going to leave it there because this is just like a quick first look, and I'll do some more videos and delve into more functions and such like at a later date. So yeah, one last thing I would like to mention is the file systems on these cameras. The Sony camera file system, when you look at the SD card on it, it's crap. You've really got to hunt for your footage. Whereas the Osmo Action, it's really simple. It's only nested inside a couple of folders. But the Sony one, oh god, why can't they just make it simple? Just put it to a separate folder that's right at the root, so you just got to go into one folder or two folders to actually find your footage. But they don't. It's a mess in there. Yeah, that's a big criticism from me, is the file systems, like, it's rubbish. But hey ho, you get used to it and you work around it, and their software, obviously, when you load up on their software on your computer, then it finds it straight away. So it is what it is. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.